Good morning, people of the cardboard. Welcome back to Fun Deck. So we have a new Artmagia monster to talk about. This is interesting because Artmagia cards came out officially 2 sets ago, and we got some support in Doom of Dimensions, but that was more just I think a couple spell traps. So this is a big deal that we're actually getting a monster now 2 sets later. This suggests that in the following set we'll get Doom Z support. Because that would be 2 sets from that, and then 2 sets from now we will get Elven Notes main monster support, which is great because that deck definitely needs some more help. I think actually both decks need help. So let's get into it. This is Artmage No Finito. So this is it's interesting. This is a mixture between, they have, I think, Fimnal, Artmage Fimnal, and their Power Patron. Let's get into it. So it's level 7 Earth Illusion Fusion Monster, attack 24, defense 15, and it takes 2 Artmage monsters. So this must either be fusion summoned or special summoned from the extract by discarding 1 spell trap and tributing 1 level 7 or higher Artmage monster from your hand or field. So that's interesting. You could use your hand. You can only special summon 1 Artmage No Finito once per turn this way, no matter which method you choose. And so if this is special summon, you can set 1 Archmage spell trap from your deck. And then 2, once during your opponent's turn, interesting, you can fusion summon fusion monster from your deck using monsters you control. All right. So, I was actually interested in this card when I first read it, so I kind of looked into some of to see what level 7 options are available. Let's get into the summon condition first. So there's only one main deck level 7 that's Fimnal. This is clearly, like I said, a mixture of this and then their Power Patron, because it's illusion and it also has an effective fusion summon on your opponent's turn, like the Power Patron. But I think it's pretty cool. The Artmage has a few effects that work basically bouncing a monster you control to the hand. So for example, I think it's so like this trap and the other one. But this one says you can banish this from the graveyard, target one Artmage you control, return it to the hand or extract, and then destroy a card your opponent controls as a form of interruption. So what's cool is that theoretically you can do that and then tribute this card from your hand, which is nifty. So I don't think it's really too hard to try to summon this. The other option you have is their Deactorus Fusion Monster. It's level 8. So you could tribute this if you wanted to. It's basically, this one's easier to summon because it takes Media Spear and an Artmage card, which is kind of weird because you can't directly go into the new Fimnal with our Medius the Pure. But theoretically, you can go Medius the Pure, summon your Power Patron, fusion summon into this, and then tribute this to summon the new Fimnal Fusion Monster, and discard a card. So you can kind of do it. And you do search out, if you use the Power Patron, when it uses Fusion Material, you can search out our Mage Spell Trap. So, I mean, that's kind of a line if you want to end up with this instead. It's nifty. In terms of the targets, you can actually set the Spell Trap. So, they have, you can actually, you can actually set the field spell, which is a big thing to help you combo off. Although if you're making your fusion monster, this one we're using the proper method, you probably already have gone through this, but maybe not. So this is kind of your heart and soul of the deck, so getting it directly is nice. They also have this, which is a searcher for your field spell, and if you have it, it's just a Rhoda for the archetype, so that's good too. And then there's 2 traps. This one basically just lets you special summon Artmage or Amiz appear from your deck, and protects your fusion summoning effects. So it is kind of cute because you could go summon your Power Patron with this and then fusion summon on your opponent's turn into the new Fimnal if you want. That is a nice target for it. Then there's this one, which is basically, it's kind of a monster reborn for your opponent's graveyard, but you have to bounce an Artmage you control. So it's okay, although you don't really want to be bouncing your extract tools. But regardless, it is nice to have additional searching methods for spell traps. The deck can search all your monsters, but the spell traps, there's only a couple ways. And then in terms of this quick synchro effect, I think it's fine. So you could go for like the new Nightmare Restrict because it just takes 2 monsters, different types. And so obviously your new fusion is an illusion, and then using a fiend or a spellcaster on the field. And Artmagia does have a spellcaster. I think this card is cool. I think it's also weird because it kind of does the opposite of what the deck wants to do. Typically, you want to have different types on amongst the monsters on your field to get like unique effects. Like I said, the other low or level 8 fusion monster is a Omni for stuff on the field if you have 3 or more types. So it's weird that they basically reprinted the illusion type of the Power Patron. And then it requires you to tribute cards from your field, or I guess hand. You can kind of save some advantage, but you don't want to be losing monsters on field to go into this. So it's very weird to me why they chose to do it like this. And discard Spell Trap. It sounds nice in theory because, the field, a lot of the effects have, or a lot of their spells actually have effects when they're discarded, but they're weirdly specifically worded that they only get a bonus effects if they're discarded for the field spell effect. So this would not work to do anything with it. So I think this is a cool card. I think it's nice just to have something, a fusion material for the archetype that takes any 2 Artmage. They didn't have that before. They only had the Measly Pure and the Power Patron, or the big Power Patron that takes 3 Artmage monsters. So it's cool that you kind of get to have their own thing. It's weird to me that it doesn't actually do anything. It's not like this is an interaction with your opponent. Because, if you can go fusion someone to this, usually you could just fusion someone to something else, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's cool fusion monsters you can go into. I think, if they would have let you use cards from your hand too, that would be cool. You could start looking into this being blended with stuff like Draco Tail. Like that would be very interesting. Or you could do what am I thinking of? Chimera, Guardian Chimera. If you could fusion some with hand and field. But I think they didn't want to make it too broken. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is an illusion fusion monster that could tap into the Chimera decks. Maybe this could play with Draco Tail. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Am I missing something? Is this better than I think? Anyway, without further ado, it's Fun Deck signing out. Bye.